Holding on to anger might feel like protection, but it's actually robbing you of peace and growth. In this video, we will explore the unseen costs of resentment, from missed opportunities to mental exhaustion. Discover why releasing past grudges isn't about condoning past wrongs, but about releasing yourself for your present and future. Do you ever feel like you're carrying a weight that you just can't see? You might be holding on to resentments. There's a difference between resentments and anger. Now, if someone does something wrong to you, they hit you with a rock, right? That will make you feel angry. Why'd you hit me with a rock? That wasn't right. I didn't do anything to deserve that. But that is when you feel the anger, and then you should release the anger, set it down, move on with your life. That doesn't mean you trust them. It doesn't mean it's okay. It doesn't mean it didn't hurt at one time. But if you don't release it and set it down, you're going to carry it with you. Not a big deal, right? One rock. But what happens later? If you're living a long life, you will have another one. You will have another one. That one's kind of pretty. It's not supposed to be. You will have another one. What's going to happen? If you keep holding on to all of these resentments, you are going to be weighted down. It is the silent burden. This is one that not a lot of people even realize they can set down. They think that this happened, it's true, so now I have to go on living with it. But if you believe that, if you believe it's protecting you somehow, it's really not. Anger in the moment or as you're resolving something, expressing it can show that this is not okay. This is my boundary. This is my standard that's been violated. I'm not putting up with that. But then holding on to it, say that you don't speak to a person again. You've decided that they betrayed you, they broke your trust one too many times. You're moving on without them, but you haven't let go of these things. So this might be a song on the radio, reminds you of that. Your day's ruined. This might be their favorite cologne. Your day's ruined. If you're holding on to these things and not setting them down, they still have the power over your emotions, over your days, and the power to make you unhappy. What this does also is creates a mental fog and a drain. It's hanging on to you. Any of your relationships, your current relationships, new ones, people that you meet, if you are still hanging on to all of this, it's not just you that's going to have this burden, but it's going to be them too. Now, you may think that you have to keep these alive so that you'll remember and so that you're protected against new things that look similar. But your wisdom is your protection, not your resentments and grudges. The wisdom is if someone says one thing and does another, you may have learned through these that this means what it means. It means they said one thing and did another. Your past positive, good vibes only self may have been like, well, they must have just forgot. And then later on, you're mad because they turn out to be who they always were, but who you never saw because you were assigning positive motives to their baloney. But if you then say every single time someone says one thing and does another, then it means that they're lying and they're a jerk and they're a narcissist and all that stuff. You remove the possibility for anything else. Your wisdom would be to ask and to observe and to discern. That's going to protect you. Now, if they do one thing, if they say one thing and do another, and they genuinely, honestly forgot and they make amends, make it up to you, it never happens again, you haven't thrown away a connection because you were holding on to resentments and grudges from the past. But with your wisdom, if they say the one thing and do another, you say, why'd you do that? And they freak out and they try to scare you away from the truth. You know this is not a normal reaction because of what you've learned. You don't have to hold on to the anger to be able to say, oh, I know what you're about, and no thank you. Now, forgiveness, the dictionary definition, what I've been saying for the past 13 years, because I need people to know this, forgiveness is just the setting down and moving on, the accepting that things happened and they cannot be changed. It is releasing yourself from resentment and anger and moving on with your life. That's all it is. It has nothing to do with the other person. It's just about you and the pain that you're going to carry around for the rest of your life or not. This is how you can see that the definition a lot of people think forgiveness is that you just have amnesia and pretend everything's okay. Well, they said they're sorry, so now we just have to pretend like nothing happened. Otherwise, you're an unforgiving person. That is not, has never been, and never will be forgiveness. That's willful denial. That doesn't set you free. That's not a gift for you. That's not even a gift for them. It's almost like an invitation for them to do stuff again, because all they have to do is have crocodile tears and say they're sorry, and they can abuse you and every time they want. That's not forgiveness. Sometimes people will say, oh, well, then don't call it forgiveness, or there's different definitions of forgiveness. No, there are not. There is one definition of forgiveness. And that is when I said, ceasing to carry around resentment and anger within yourself, moving on, accepting that it happened, cannot be changed, and moving on. It doesn't mean the reading into things. It doesn't mean that you don't go to court if there is some restitution to be had. It doesn't mean that you had that person in your life at all or as close as they were before. There's all the kinds of things that it doesn't mean and never has meant that you have to separate to be able to live the true definition of forgiveness, which will set you free, and it is for you, as well as all the good people that are in your life, present and future. Forgiveness, again, is not condoning harm. It's not saying it's okay. It's not saying that if you could go back, you'd do the same thing again. It is saying it's happened. It is now a self-liberation, a freedom. How do you do this? How do you start to do it? Journaling, meditation, prayer, focusing on new things. There's a lot of different ways, but your goal is going to be to set all of these down so that you can be free. And maybe thousands and thousands more that you're still carrying. One thing that I can tell you is the very start of it is the awareness. Just become aware. I mean, sometimes things take a while to forgive, especially if things went on for a long, long time, and you have memories come up after 5 years of things that happened 10 years ago. You will have to feel that anger, because this you with the self-worth and outside of that relationship, if it's a relationship, maybe it was a work situation, but this you hasn't existed before. The you that existed before was either confused or wrapped up in it or blamed yourself for it. So when things come up from 10 years ago that you haven't thought of in 10 years, yes, feel the anger. If anyone tries to tell you, oh, that happened so long ago, forget it. No, this is happening present time for the first time, where you get to see it. And from that point, let's choose this one. You say, you know what? That was really messed up that happened. I can't believe it. Well, thank goodness I'm not going to have to deal with that again. And you can set it down. If you're reminded of that exact same thing again, it's already set down. You've already reframed it and made the path to the thank goodness I won't have to deal with that again. So it may still get triggered in a way that means just that you're reminded of it. There might be, the song on the radio or the favorite food or the cologne, whatever it is. There might be a trigger, but once you have reframed and set it down, it's not going to trigger you inside the way that it did before. You'll be reminded, but you'll know where to take that thought so that it doesn't possess you and ruin the moment or the day or the week or the vacation or the life. Have you thought of anything during this video? Maybe something that is from a long time ago, maybe something you've repeated one too many times. It's like a joke. After a while, it's not funny anymore. Except for this, it's like, so at some point, you'll have an awareness. You go, wait, why am I still getting angry about that? I've replayed that so many times in my mind. I've allowed it to control me and my emotions so many times and make me feel bad. I'm just going to set it down. I'm going to look for one thing that happened at that time in my life that was good. Maybe you had a child. Maybe you got a dog. Maybe you went on a vacation. And besides the ruining of the vacation, you met a new friend, or you at least know that place is a wonderful place that you want to revisit. Find something good that happened at that time and shift your focus instead to that, so that if that bad memory comes up again, you can choose to reframe, and then after time, it will become a habit where you will automatically reframe to that positive thing, and that's the release. That's the setting down. I hope you found this very helpful. Subscribe, like, comment, share. I'd love to have you as part of the conversation. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Thank you.